Hi everyone, and welcome to the University of Guam. I'm Doug Palmer, the Athletics Director at UOG, and welcome to the Triton Athletics and Fieldhouse YouTube show. This is the show that brings you news about the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse, the recreation program here, and varsity athletics. On the main menu today is results from the tryouts that happened this week in our 6 varsity sports. It was a mixed bag. We had 3 really good tryouts, and we had 3 that we need more bodies. The 3 that did really well were men's basketball that had 14 come out and try out. Plus we know that 2 or 3 more of our returning players will come to the team. Also men's soccer, they had 12 players come out, and we're expecting 3 to 5 of their returning players to join the team as well. And our most surprising team, and it may not have been a surprise, but women's rugby had 9 people come out. We know we have 3 players that are going to play for UOG that are all filing. So they basically have about 12 players. We're playing 7s in rugby, so we already have a very good squad that potentially to play rugby. Sports that did not do as well as baseball. A little bit of surprise. We thought we'd have more people come, but we had 4 people who actually tried out. We got 2 that we know are going to join us, so we have 6 baseball players at the moment. Women's soccer had 4 players come out and try out. We know we have at least 1 more going to play with us, so we have 5 women's soccer players. And women's basketball only had 2 tryouts. We do know we have 3 that are going to come out and join us, so we have 5 women's basketball players. So those 3 sports all need 5 to 7 more players to have a somewhat complete squad. So on August 16th, we're going to have a second tryout date, or actually a 3rd tryout date for those 3 sports. Monday, August 16th, 4 o'clock, women's soccer is going to try out at the UOG soccer field. At 4 o'clock, baseball is going to try out at the George Washington High School baseball field. And at 7 o'clock, women's basketball will have their tryouts again at 7 p.m. in the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. The one thing we really want to stress this time, there is grant money, scholarship money available for student athletes who play these sports. Women's basketball has about $7,000 still to give to folks who are going to try out, make the team, and have that certain athletic ability that would allow them to be on scholarship. Women's soccer actually has about $10,000 of scholarship money still to give out. And baseball has about $5,000 to give out. If you need some scholarship money to pay your tuition and you got some athletic skill, come out for these sports and you potentially can earn a scholarship to play for UOG while going to class. The other news that we want to talk about is the upcoming seasons. Baseball will be the first sport to play for UOG, so that's why we need more players quickly. On September 4th, they're going to open the season up at Okadu High School in the Guam Amateur League. Not sure exactly who they're going to play yet, but we know the date and the time that we're supposed to play. Men's basketball is going to play on September 8th at actually 8:15 p.m. against the junior national team. Women's basketball is going to play on September 9th. They're also playing against the U17 junior national women's team. So those sports already know when they're playing. And as I said, 2 of those sports need more players, so please come and try out. Women's rugby will actually play in October. We thought they were going to play the 23rd, 24th, but now it looks like those dates are actually going to move up to either 1 or 2 weekends before them. Men's and women's soccer will begin play in October when the GFA Amateur League start playing. Also in the news that we have right now, next week on August the 11th, which is Wednesday, student orientation is going to go on in the field house. So I think it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, goes to about noon or 1 o'clock. So for students who didn't go to the first orientation, this is the second orientation. You need to register for this event. So look on the UOG website to find out how you register for this event. In our recreation department, the biggest news is that times will change in 1 week. We have 1 week of the current times, but on August 16th, same day these tryouts are happening, We're going to extend time in the Triton Fitness Center from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Fridays. Also, we've just gotten from Take Care our new class schedule. It's very exciting. We're actually going to go to eight to 9 classes starting September 7th. So the Tuesday after Labor Day, we're going to have 2 yoga classes, 2 misfit classes, 2 Zumba classes, and actually 4 martial art classes that will, of course, you're not going to be throwing punches in the martial art classes, but you're going to be doing the fitness regimens that martial art performers do to get in shape for their fights. So it's a very exciting time for the Triton Fitness Center, and the addition of classes, and a pretty good mixed bag of classes. It gives you some cardio, gives you some strength, gives you some stretching. So we're very excited about that. This is our first special guest. I would like to welcome Kayla Taguacta, who's our women's rugby coach, to the show. We're going to ask Kayla a few questions to answer, and then have a little personal stuff here at the end. So we want you to get to know Kayla better. She had a very successful tryout come up, but I'm going to let her talk about it. How was tryouts, and what do you think of it?
Tryouts was good, very, very positive. This is the first time we'll be having rugby at the university, so it's a big deal to me, and it's a big deal to everyone that tried out. Like, the first practice I was telling them this is such a big deal, and they didn't like realize till I said it to them. They're like, oh yeah! We actually had 2 girls who never played rugby, so if you're interested in playing, never played, you are welcome. But it was good.
Well, I looked at both of those young ladies, and they both got muscles for sure, and strength and power, and I'm like, you're perfect for the sport. So I was very impressed by those. And actually, I was very impressed. I think we had actually 9 total young ladies come out.
Yeah.
We know 3 young ladies that are off island at the moment that want to play for us. So we've got 12 players today, and that's probably 3 or 4 more than I thought we were going to have. So it was, to me, a very good tryout. And was there anybody special out there that tried out that really impressed you? You can throw out some names if you want to.
So I know some of them from like national team to like me coaching them in high school, seeing them play in high school.
Okay.
So that was a really good excitement. Like even during our first practice, like, you know, when you're nervous, like you don't really like talk to your teammates until you have to. When we got there, everyone was already talking to each other, so that was a good start.
Yeah.
But we do have a few players that are off island that will be joining us. They're just on vacation. But
Okay.
yes, exciting.
Well, and that brings me to the next point of when we start playing. At least right now in the fall, we're only planning on playing in 1 league.
Yep.
So tell us about that league.
So to start off, we just wanted to do, like just to test out, because I know everyone's not used to playing with each other yet. So we're looking to do a 2-weekend tournament with a 2-week break in between. So that's looking to be October 23rd and 24th, and then the 2-week break, and then November 6th and 7th.
Okay. So who was the other teams going to be in it?
So we actually have a lot of interested like people. So my club team is Paratodu. We're looking to have possibly 2 teams, and then the Guam national team will be in it. We have our team, and then we have a GRC team and a Southern team.
Okay, so we got 5 teams?
Yeah, it might be even more.
Okay.
I was just talking to a lot of my teammates today, and it looks like good interest, so
Okay.
hopefully everyone wants to.
I'll be really excited if we had a 6-team
Yeah.
league going, so that would make it
Yes.
even more interesting. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, one of the reasons why I decided that women's rugby for the next sport is that I think it's a very unique thing to Guam.
Yeah.
There is excitement about it, but there is no regular play on Guam. Every so often you have a tournament, but most of the play on Guam is that teams travel internationally and play. And we want to do that. I actually advertised UOG rugby out to Oceania for a while, and we could have a team from Fiji who wanted to come. We have so many players from Fiji that want to come, and Fiji is one of the strongest islands or strongest nations as far as that go in rugby. So we would definitely want to travel at some point in the future to go play internationally. Going to Fiji would be a great way of probably starting out. We may not end up with the results that we really wanted, but it would be a good way of starting out. So anything else you want to add about the women's rugby team? I know you only saw them for 2 days. Not everybody's together yet. But when are you going to start practice?
We're just waiting for everyone to get those goals, but everyone's excited. I'm excited. Everyone's like, we really have to wait. I'm like, yeah, it's just due to COVID and everything. We just want to be safe first and foremost. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
But it's really exciting. Like, I always tell my players, I'm like, you will never find anyone more passionate than me about rugby. And if you do, let me know, but I doubt it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just really excited. Like, it's such an honor to be able to coach something that I love, so I'm just really excited. And I'm glad the girls are super excited too.
Well, this is a unique time. We're trying to bring back baseball that has a great tradition here of winning championships, and I think we already have 8 Hall of Fame baseball players in the Hall of Fame, and we're hoping to play on September 4th for that. But then on vice versa, we have women's rugby that's never been played at the university. I mean, this is be the first time, maybe the first time that this type of league has ever been tried.
Yeah.
As far as those things go, so, and I'm excited about, I know a lot of times, fans from at least women's football and from rugby that I've seen, they start putting tents up around the field. We have barbecues going, and it's actually a big fan experience, but it's also a family experience, and mom and dad are there for their daughters playing out there, so I'm very excited, and we're going to make a real special day of the first day that we play women's rugby here as well. So, all right, and then the last thing I'm going to talk to you about, or just ask you about, you're getting married.
Getting married.
All right, give us some information. People will want to know.
Just getting married like, what is it, 2 months now? October.
October 9, I think, right?
No, October 2nd.
Okay, October 2nd, all right.
Which is cool, because I was just telling my fiance that, because we have our national trip in November.
Yeah.
I was like, did you know my last name and your last name is going to be, because I'm going to hyphen my name, so it'll be Taguacta. But it's going to be, like when they say it, they'll say his last name. I was like, oh, this is such a big moment.
It's not going to fit on the back of your jersey well.
I'll make it work.
Okay. All right. So thank you for doing the first interview. I know you were nervous about it, so we've gotten by it. So thank you very much for being the first guest on the program. You've had a lot more life than I had to it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, and then we'll bring you back, especially when it gets close to season. And then those tough times when you play on the weekend, we come back on Monday, and we're going to talk about the games, and especially those weekends when you lose a game. Hopefully not, but we know it'll happen sometime, especially when you play the
You never know
national
with
season.
rugby, you know.
Or
It can go either
any
way.
sport. Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much. You've added a lot of energy to the show. All right, thank you.